So I'm just saying, you know, I mean, eh, of course, MasterCard and Visa, they're like, "Mm, well, I mean, look, they're like, oh, right, 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 right. Look, Steam, what you're doing is bad, so we're gonna do everything to restrict it, what you're doing, but OnlyFans, look, guys, look, just, just shut the fuck up about it. That's it. Just shut up, and we'll receive your billions of dollars. Just shut up, okay? Just that's it. You know, that's it. You know, we'll restrict them. You know, we'll restrict these guys over here because you know they're only making us a couple million. But you, you keep making us billions. All right, you keep making us billions, and we'll look the other way. All right, we'll do that just for you. Keep making us money. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we'll be once again talking about censorship-related concerns involving the video game industry and payment processors. And we've moved beyond the doubling down phase. We're now in the tripling down phase, where payment processors like MasterCard are trying to gaslight you into believing they have
Mm-hmm.
no role in the censorship and banning of problematic video games. We all know that is a blatant lie, and now companies like Valve are stepping up and calling out MasterCard on their lies. We're also seeing other initiatives basically battling this gigantic network of censorship that seems to be clamping down on all aspects across the globe. And we're also going to see some of the members of the agenda pushers involved with this set of censorship get exposed as disgusting hypocrites. But before we get into all that, as always with videos like this, I want to share the message as much as I can. And nowadays, with new YouTube policies, even if you watch an entire video, your view might not count unless you're an engaged viewer. Someone
What the fuck does that even mean? Dude, I read that shit and I thought that shit was mega retarded. Like, what is it? I truly thought so. I really thought that shit was like like majorly retarded. I remember I read that policy too, and I thought, what does that even mean? Like, what? Like, you got to leave a like and comment just to even count as a view? It's like, bro, you're literally making your platform more retarded than it needs to be. What are you doing?
who likes, comments, or subscribes. So make sure to do those things to help out this video, help your view count, and help move this video and its message into algorithm to spread to more people, because we need to spread the message about this. This should disgust you. This should disgust anyone who is a consumer. What's going on here is terrible. Now, let's begin with Collective Shout. In case you missed the previous episodes of Dragon Ball involving this group, this is a small group of feminists out of Australia who basically have been given the keys to the kingdom. They were a group that was largely ignored for many years in their attempts to censor adult themed video games and other games like Grand Theft Auto. Even Detroit Become Human was one of their targets a few years back. But they have been given a lot of attention, largely because of their new strategy to go after payment processors. Now, of course, these are a bunch of activists who don't actually care at the end of the day about protecting
Yeah.
anyone. Hence, the fact
And it's funny because it's like the one part I think is actually really interesting is that this is being done and perpetrated literally by a state, no, a country that is very, very pro censorship, by the way. I mean, this is literally the country that practically made, from what I can remember, that literally made their own COVID concentration camps. What is it, when all that was at its peak? Almost like practically literally. They had COVID camps. I still remember this. I thought that shit was crazy.
that they are a very strong supporter of Cuties, a film that exploited hundreds of real life children in a film that was basically a twerking competition where they put 11 and 12-year-old girls into
Hell
skimpy
yeah,
outfits
let's
while they
go.
performed.
Dr. Disrespect was that, what is it? Was off, was it? He was front row. Dr. Disrespect, Mini Lad, Diddy, who else? Bill Cosby. I think Elvis too. I think so. I think he was married to like a 15-year-old or something like that. Uh, who else? What is it? Epstein, maybe Donald Trump, maybe what is it? Definitely Prince Henry, definitely who else? The Biden administration, definitely Obama administration. Who else? Maybe Queen Elizabeth.
Those acts. They defend that, but they have a major problem with fictional content, and their new strategy is to go after payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. They've even specifically mentioned these companies as the reason why companies like Steam have worked with them and basically given into their demands. Now, this has backfired because people have been trying to counter what's going on here by calling up these payment processors and making complaints. In fact, Visa and MasterCard are overwhelmed, and we've had examples of people getting cussed out by their customer support. They are very rattled at the moment. Now, when this happens, MasterCard gets real nervous. We talked about this the other day.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Keep doing that shit. And I think for the people who can, what is it? Use fucking what is it? Use bot callers. Absolutely, use fucking bot callers. Those absolutely exist and they do work. Uh, what is it? And those things will be great to use 100%.
They made their first statement on this. They are acknowledging what's going on here, and they did this by gaslighting everyone, saying that basically they have no responsibility in the censorship of video games, but
Fuck
that's not
off.
true. You can see the community note that was applied saying Steam and Itch have stated that these payment processors influenced their recent acts of censorship or delisting of particular games. And of course, you can look at Steam and see a new rule that was added recently that specifically says we also have to take into account the rules of our payment processors. And of course, if you look at the actual rules of Visa, for example, they have rules about fictional content, including this very vague rule right here talking about how they basically can look at any sort of content without limitation and determine it's against their brand. It's hurting their brand in some way.
Hey,
It's
you know what? You know what? What is it? Let's see these motherfuckers. What is it? Fly close to the sun, and do that to GTA 6. You know what? What is it? Fly close to the sun. Do this to GTA 6. You know what? There may be the whole thing with GTA 5, right? To be like, the age verification things and such. Hey, man. Hey, MasterCard, Visa, do this to GTA 6. Like a week before it comes out, be like, you cannot process payment for this game. And if you pre ordered it, they'll be canceled and stuff. Do that. Do that. And what is it? What is it? They're gonna be asleep and they're gonna be like, I'm awakened. Watch. Watch you. What? Do I think it would happen? Hell no. But it'd be great if it did.
open ended for a reason. They can pretty much apply it to anything. Now, here's where we get to the response from Valve. So you can see this article, MasterCard deflects blame for not safe for work games being taken down, but Valve says payment processors specifically cited a MasterCard rule about damaging the brand, the one we just looked at 2 seconds ago. That is the type of open-ended policy a lot of these payment processors already have. And this is their quote saying, MasterCard did not communicate with Valve directly despite our request to do so, a Valve representative said.
Yep.
MasterCard communicated with payment processors and their acquiring banks. Payment processors communicated this with Valve, and we replied by outlining Steam's policy since 2018 of attempting to distribute games that are legal for distribution. Payment processors rejected this and specifically cited MasterCard's Rule 5.12.7 and risk to the MasterCard brand. And of course, again, super open ended. And MasterCard is trying to gaslight you. And good on Valve for defending themselves through this representative and saying, no, they went after us with a specific rule. These payment processors said it's a brand risk, you got to get rid of it. Not a
Yep.
brand risk for Valve, but for the payment processors. Now,
Bro, I'll be honest with you. Do you really think people give a fuck? Like, truly, you think people really give a shit? Maybe for the minority of people that are like, oh, oh, look, what is it? These payment processors are doing this stuff. It's like, dude, these payment processors are also in the and I mean deep pockets of what is it, of a lot of adult websites. Do you really think they give a shit? No, because you want to know why? Because that's a $1 billion industry, and I mean $1 billion industry, billions, so much money that that if you actually see like saw like the raw numbers from one of the sites, your head's gonna explode because you're like, bro, what the fuck? They're not gonna let that go. Of course not. Why would they? They got to be retarded to do so.
This is why I look back on companies like Visa and MasterCard, and then I look at Collective Shout. Collective Shout is essentially a useful idiot. They have the right message that lines up with MasterCard and Visa, and they're using them as a conduit to get more things censored to fulfill their own agenda. I believe that Visa and MasterCard, they like censoring these supposedly problematic pieces of content. They've been doing it for years without outside forces putting pressure on them. We
Yep.
saw with many Japanese forms of content where certain platforms, certain types of content were being banned left and right. And some people say, well, it was the decision of these companies to ban certain types of content. Well, they didn't really have a choice. These payment processors that basically keep them afloat would approach them and say, we're going to pull our services unless you ban this sort of problematic fictional content. And they have no choice. You lose Visa and MasterCard, you basically lose your ability to have anyone pay you. And you're pretty much left with no choice. And they've been doing this for years on their own.
You know what? That's all right because soon enough there will be alternative choices. 1,000%. There will be because of this. Someone out there, mainly Steam, or dude, you know, it'd be and I've said this before. It'd be great if Elon Musk was like, it's like, yeah, man, we make rocket ships, we make fucking electric cars. Why not do payment processing as well? It's like, bro, they literally own the biggest social media platform in the world. You know, might as well dabble into payment processing, and I think it'll be great. It'd be so funny if he calls it like if he calls his thing like if he calls the company like Musk Cash or some bullshit like that, like something weird.
Own. And now you have Collective Shout going after Steam and Itch and these other platforms. And now they're using them to continue spreading their censorship to new and bigger platforms, including ones that are very popular in the West. Now, it's not just adult games or adult theme games, 18 plus games. They're going after everything. We saw horror games on
That
itch.io.
Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row reportedly at risk of being delisted by payment processors. You know what? You know what? Go after GTA 6. I think these people should go after GTA 6. Watch. I'm gonna tell you. I'm watch Take Two Interactive. I think that's what they're called. The publisher. Watch them lawyer the fuck up. And I mean, they're gonna get they're gonna get lawyers that's gonna cost them like $10,000 an hour. They're gonna get made like crazy major lawyers.
Get enough pressure on them from these outside sources
Do it,
that they were
do it,
delisted.
pussy.
And now we're seeing claims that Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row are now at risk of being delisted by these payment processors and the pressure they're putting on these platforms. This is a very interesting development from Zoom, which is a gaming storefront. They have come out and said they have been feeling the pressure from payment processors to censor a lot of their content, but they're saying no. They're not allowing this to happen. They're trying everything they can do to make sure the customer's not losing out on certain games because of the pressure of payment processors. So here's their statement saying, preserving and protecting artistic freedom. As you are likely aware, there have been a number of adult title delistings across the industry. One of our payment processors made us aware that a fellow member of the industry was concerned about our content. After we heard from the payment processor, we immediately engaged in lengthy discussions with both PayPal and Stripe. We worked with our contacts at the aforementioned payment processors to develop a tripartite, might be mispronouncing that, solution to ensure the right to free speech and freedom of expression, as well as protect the safety of our valued customers and partners. So they added an opt-in security option for two-factor authentication using time-based one-time passwords to safeguard consumer accounts. This feature is now in the account settings. Many of the customers have expressed difficulty in being able to make purchases with our current payment processors, and they're looking for alternative payment options as well. And then they also say the first of these upgrades is a wallet system for future purchases. This feature also allows users to add funds to their account and spend them on all of our products. And they conclude by saying, we have no plans to remove any titles and will do absolutely everything in our
Yep, here and you know what? I'm gonna say this part too. Make getting gift cards great again. I never understood why people just don't really go out of the way to buy gift cards and things like that, especially when these things are happening. You know, I still it kind of reminds me a little bit, just a little bit, of like the network blackout that we had here in my area, and I think in other parts too. Um, and dude, the amount of people that will walk in the store and walk out because they have no cash on them, I'm always like, guys, always have money out, and I don't mean like you gotta have like no money in a bank, not that, but at least have some cash on your person, in your house and things like that, just in case of moments like these happen. Because the belief that none of this, like this won't ever happen, is like, bro, come on, like it will happen. When is my birthday? It already passed like a few months ago, sadly.
power to prevent such delistings. We are fervent supporters of artistic freedom and always will be. Uh, Based? Yeah, guys, the bar is
Based.
low, okay? Companies like this that stand up for themselves and artistic freedom, they're going to get a big jolt of support. And rightfully so. We see this happen all the time where we see these companies acting like they have no choice. Well, a lot of times they have a hard choice. And this is a hard choice to fight back, but it's one that should be rewarded. And I'm glad Zoom is doing that. Now, they also said in an email that on their team, they expect the delisting situation to expand further into their discussions of titles like Grand Theft Auto, Duke Nukem, and Saints Row.
Dude, Duke Nukem, bro, I'll be honest with you. Like, Duke Nukem, really? Duke Nukem? From all the games you could have picked, you picked Duke Nukem. Bro, the last Duke Nukem game was like Duke Nukem Forever or some shit like that. Or something. Or I think that's what it was. And that was like 13 or so years ago. It's crazy. Like, dude, you go after Duke Nukem. I can understand Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row. Saints Row? Brother, like, and what is it? The last Saints Row game was like what? Like maybe like 10 years ago, 11 years ago? That was like the last Saints Row game. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. And on top of that, that with the last, let's say that you count Saints Row 4, right? That game was like you're basically fighting aliens the entire time. You were literally fighting aliens the entire time, and on top of that, you were in a simulation. Like, that's the thing, you were in a simulation the entire time in that game, and like nothing too crazy happened. And I'll be honest with you, I think I think the older games were more crazier in terms of like, I don't know, maybe like killing civilians and things like that compared to like GTA, like 1,000%. But hey, you know, I would love for them to go after GTA 6. Please, please. And like I'm like putting my hands together in prayer. Please go after GTA 6. Cause that's going to be $1 billion game in a matter of like what is it? In a matter of I think in a less than a week. In a week, probably. That's gonna be like $1 billion game. Please go after GTA 6 and say that that they're gonna block any processes and things like that for GTA 6 because it's gonna be so beautiful, dude. This is going to be a beautiful what is it, a lawsuit that Take Two Interactive is gonna do. It's going to be such a beautiful lawsuit that even what is it, even MasterCard and Visa are gonna be like, bro, we didn't think these niggas had that much money. I'm like, don't. I'm gonna tell you this much: GTA, it makes money, and I mean money. These guys don't even know that for sure. They don't know that. That's the reason why GTA 6, even though it's like what, like 13 years old, it still sells. But yeah, anyway. How long will that support last because Steam of all places folded? I don't know. I mean, I think for Steam, I think they just panicked. They were just like, what the fuck is going on? And like it happened so quick, and I'm pretty sure they were like, okay, let's just do this and see and put what is it, a bandage on it. But I'm pretty sure they're going to really examine a lot of this stuff and try to do what they can and such. Um, would it be like that for a long time for Steam? I mean, I don't know. Um, but don't be surprised. Don't be surprised either that there will be other payment processors in the future. Don't be surprised that there's going to be another one, and another one, don't be surprised that there's going to be, instead of two payment processors, there's going to be three of them, and then four or five. Don't be surprised at that happening. And then you know what? I'm glad there should be more.
That they're potentially at risk. Like I said, and like many people have been saying, it doesn't end with the ecchi 18 plus hentai games or the the really graphic sexual games that all these feminists are claiming are causing women to be harmed in real life. No, it doesn't end with the Gooner games, right? It goes to everything. It's going to hit games
Nah,
like Grand Theft Auto. It's going to keep going further.
what?
We've already
I'll try.
seen horror games getting hit by these sorts of censorship or acts of censorship, and it's going to keep going. And unfortunately, a lot of people had to wait until, not step one, but like step four of censorship to actually start caring.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not too late. But continuing on, there's another little battle going on where you can see as battle between payment processors and storefronts continues, GOG is making adult games free to own. This was a 48-hour campaign that got lots of support and use.
Dude, it did. Dude, you don't want to know. You want to know something funny? You want to know something great about that? I what is it? I redeemed that, bro. I didn't even, the games didn't show up on my thing till like, I think like an hour or so later.
In the first 24 hours, one
And on top of that, I looked on like the website or something like that, and it told me, oh, there's so much. It told me like something. It told me something like, there's so much traffic on the purchases right now. It may take a little bit of time for what is it, for the what is it, for your purchase item to appear available to download. I was like, okay.
million people took advantage of this free system that they call freedom to buy and purchased, or I should say, received for free these adult games that fell under this campaign. It shows there's a huge market for this, and I am, I guess, very happy to see GOG and other initiatives trying to counter this and show this is what gamers want. And as always, I say it every time, if you don't like these games, fine. Don't play them. You're not going to stumble across 18 plus games by accident. If you don't want it,
The funny thing is that you're like, he's right. You're not going to stumble into like porn games. You have to turn on that option. You have to manually turn on that option to find adult games on Steam.
Don't seek it out. Don't play it. Don't support it. But grown adults should be able to make their own decisions about the fictional content they're going to consume when it comes to video games. Okay? And all these groups like Collective Shout, they're very desperate to try to convince you that this stuff is so dangerous that it has to be banned. And for what reason? To, of course, protect the children, because apparently people can't
Protect the
parent their own
kids.
kids. And
Protect the kids. Of course, it's always protecting the kids. Hey man, what is it? Hey man, if parents don't want a parent, then it's the parents' fault at the end of the day.
keep them away from stuff they should never have access to in the first place if they're actually being properly parented by their guardians. But, anyways, here's an example of one of the people who's getting a lot of attention. This is a
Oh,
person
this
at
one.
Collective Shout, this Melinda Tankard-Reist person who is insufferable, to say the least. This clip recently came out where she's talking about her concerns about PayPal, for example, and making it very clear they are just basically 90s soccer moms on steroids. They are the face of what a Karen is in the year 2025.
And guess who processes the payments and is profiting from this? PayPal. PayPal. Why are you allowing and profiting from facilitating transactions for games that promote violence against women, children, infants? I'd really like to put that question.
What games are you talking about that's doing that? Like, what are you talking about? What games in particular? Name some. Name the game that what is it that you are harming infants. Please name that game.
Question to PayPal.
And I bet you anything she's not gonna name it. And if there is, it is this very obscure game that no one heard of, or it's probably not even on like those official sites. It's on like some other shit.
PayPal today. Why are you
Absolutely.
allowing
PayPal.
$10 to play rape and
Which
incest
one?
simulation games, child abuse games? This
Which ones? Please say which ones for the what is it for the women ones? I don't really care about those ones. Which ones of the games that you're saying that you get to exploit children? Say it. Don't be like, oh yeah, look at these other ones. No. Which are the games that you're doing this to the children? Because if they're really doing that, what is it? If those games are on these platforms, that you could very much clearly tell they're like, oh, this is a 12-year-old, this is a 10-year-old that you get to do all these things. Okay, those games gotta go. But however, for what is it for the other ones? What is it for the other ones? They're like adult, like they're all like adult women or whatever and such. It's like, okay, sure, those ones I don't really care. I don't, because at the end of the day, these aren't like real women that are being hurt. But like, but the children, but the child part, I'm like, what is it? I feel like that there is a little bit. It's a bit more different. And if you have a list of those games, then put it out there. Be like, hey, these games are what is on your website or on your platform and things like that. And maybe the devs will be like, okay, yeah, these are problematic games, so we'll get rid of them. You could have gone on that route, but no, that's the logical site. Instead of you really being like, oh, being able to actually do precision shots. You're like, let me take this shotgun. What is it? Let me take this shotgun what is it with the 20 gauge and just go everywhere with it. But she will name movies like Cuties that deserve to be protected. Oh, absolutely. I'm not surprised that she's French.
This is the first time you're hearing it here. We are going to go after PayPal for allowing transactions and profiting from the simulated rape and abuse of women and children.
What games? Say what games that is doing this? What this is happening to children?
Well, we support you. What action can we uplift through our networks? Are you doing petition, a letter? What can we activate?
Literally, this is just being discussed as we speak.
Yeah, they got a lot of smoke for PayPal and how they're funding all of this harmful material. But of course, this is a member of Collective Shout. And just like Collective Shout's main account, this person is a big supporter of cuties. Wow, it's almost like every single person involved in this Collective Shout group supports cuties, but has it out for fictional content. Make it make sense. This is so disgustingly hypocritical.
It is so blasphemous. It's so blasphemous because it's like these are the people that will see digital content and think this will promote harm to actual people, but then they see, especially the harm to to kids, and yet they see a movie like Cutie, seeing 11-year-olds shake their ass and humping the floor and groaning in various sexual manner, and they're like, love this movie. And to me, I'm just thinking like come on, man, like where's the line that you draw in any of this shit? Like truly, like where is that line? Because to me, you know, your line with what is it, with digital fiction is what is it, you see it as going past the line. But as soon as it deals with actual living breathing people, that line is so far behind you, or maybe so far, well, actually no, technically so far ahead of you. It's just like it doesn't even meet the standard comparatively of how you put of how you put digital, of how you put digital or even fiction, uh um games or media, I guess you could say. I'm like, dude, it is unbelievably hypocritical that your standard when it comes with actual kids, you're like, it's okay if they get fucked. What is it? But of course, the digital stuff. No, I don't like it.
This person wants to pretend like they care about the exploitation of women and girls, and they say these video games are contributing to those issues, but then they support something that openly and directly exploited hundreds of young girls.
Hey, you know what? Maybe, I mean, she sounds like she lives like in the UK. She sounds like she lives in the UK. Maybe she can't legally disavow this movie or something like that. And if that, and you know what, if my theory is it reigns true, then that probably says something more about the government over there where they're at. And on top of that, this is a French movie, by the way. I think it's always interesting that French movies are kind of like this, which I think is very interesting. It's like, why is that? What is up with this weird shit with the French government?
You can't make this stuff up. And also with this company, this Collective Shout group, they got nothing to say about OnlyFans, for example. They've been asked point blank, are you going to do something about that platform? Now, it's not just because, oh, that's a 18 plus platform.
Oh,
That
don't tell me they're gonna say some bullshit like it is revolutionary for women, for blah 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 blah. No, 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 no. Don't go in that. Hey, Kaylin, how you doing? Don't go in that route of like saying that women that do OnlyFans it's like the revolution or something like that, or some shit like that. Oh my god. I don't think she's gonna go that route. I don't think so. Maybe. You know what? I would have put it past it. Yo, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
means it's bad. No, people have an issue with OnlyFans because it has a very predatory message. They basically made their buck for years and years, telling young girls, even underage girls, hey, look what happens when you hit 18 years old and you start selling your body. You're going to make a lot of money. Reality is,
The You want to know something crazy about it, and we're gonna get to it on the next Rev video. Let's just say that there's a particular girl called what is it called Lil Tay. She's just what is it? She just turned 18, and let's just say that a few hours later she made 7 digits. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Is only a very tiny fraction of people who use that platform make anything that even comes close to justifying putting yourself out there on the internet like that. But there's also a lot of very disturbing things when it comes to payment processors. You know, the same ones that they're going after and trying to guilt trip for providing their services to Steam and Itch. There's allegations. We talked about this earlier this year where MasterCard and Visa allegedly failed to stop payments on OnlyFans for actual abuse material. Real children being posted on this 18 plus site. And they basically didn't care.
Yeah, of course. Because here's the thing: makes Steam makes millions. Remember, OnlyFans is billions. I'm just saying, you know, which one would you rather stop? $1 million of revenue or $1 billion of revenue? Come on. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've seen videos between the difference between the way how a millionaire lives and a billionaire lives. It is a night and day difference. So I'm just saying, you know, I mean, of course, MasterCard and Visa, they're like, well, I mean, look, they're like, oh, look, Steam, what you're doing is bad, so we're gonna do everything to restrict it. What you're doing, but OnlyFans, look, guys, look, just shut the fuck up about it. That's it. Just shut up, and we'll receive your billions of dollars. Just shut up. Okay, just that's it. You know, that's it. You know, we'll restrict them. You know, we'll restrict these guys over here because, you know, they're only making us a couple million. But you keep making us billions, all right? You keep making us billions, and we'll look the other way, all right? We'll do that just for you. Keep making us money. Thank you. That is literally what they're doing. That is literally what MasterCard and Visa are doing. They don't care. They don't give a fuck, because if they really did care about things like this, they would absolutely, have these restrictions for OnlyFans, but they don't. They don't. And I'm gonna show you why. What is it? That other video of Rev? I'm gonna show you why.
That's what the allegation is. Where's collective shout? You know, the chud gamers, the bigoted gamers, the people who are such awful people, according to Collective Shout. People like myself, we've been talking about this. Where are they? Where's Collective Shout on this situation? They gladly work with these payment processors, these two directly mentioned ones, to try to get fictional content banned, but when it comes to a platform hosting a substantial amount of real abuse material, according to these allegations, they're dead silent.
Yeah.
And here's a terrible example of everything. This is happening today.
Oh, okay. He's gonna show it right here.
Tay,
I didn't think he was gonna show it right here, but okay. I'm still gonna show the other video.
She was like on Dr. Phil and all this stuff. She was like that girl who's like flexing on people when she was like 9 years old. Like, she was trying to flex on them with how much money she had, and like her parents are very exploitative. It's like a whole mess.
Bro, she made $500,000 in subscriptions and almost $500,000 in messages.
But she just turned 18, and the first thing she did, there was literal countdown timers to this.
Yeah, there was.
The first thing she did when she became a legal adult was to immediately sell her body on OnlyFans. This is what we're talking about when you say this is an exploitative platform.
Yep.
Where this
That was 3 hours. Imagine that, $1 million in 3 hours. That's why I'm saying These payment processors, they don't care. As long as you make them $1 billion, they're gonna, what is it? They're gonna turn a blind eye. While what is it? While these games are making them, probably millions, probably, but as I said, you got millions, then you got billions. Massive difference.
Second someone hits 18, they're immediately engaging this stuff.
Yep.
That doesn't happen unless this idea was planted in their head when they were a kid. That's why OnlyFans is such a problem.
Yep.
And this is the most blatant and shit.
I'm gonna be for real. I think OnlyFans should increase their age to be part of their thing into 21. This is becoming such a huge problem, nigga. Do you have any idea how weird it is when you got the, what is it? When you got that one girl, how does this keep tightening up? What is it? That with that one girl, the what was her name? The Catch Me Outside girl. As soon as she turned 18, fucking overnight millionaire. And then you got this girl right here, Lil Tay, overnight millionaire as well. Not even overnight, just literally like 3 hour, a 3 hour millionaire. It's like, dude, you know what? I'm gonna take the stance of this shit should be over the age of 21, 1,000%. You can't. What is it? If you can't drink, what is it? If you gotta drink alcohol, you gotta wait to drink alcohol till 21. I think smoking cigarettes, I think it's 21 now. But what is a bunch of other shits 21. You know what? I think being able to upload what is it, to upload what is it, adult content of yourself has to be 21. It has to be 21. I'm like, this is getting so fucking ridiculous that, and what's even interesting is that she put content out there, right? Like, she put the content like on her page and stuff. It's like, when exactly did you film this stuff? I'm just gonna leave it there. What time did you film some of that content that you put out there? I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying.
Shameless example of it. And I'm not just going after, Lil Tay. The real problem here is the people supporting this, the people platforming this, the people paying for this. They are waiting.
But you know what's crazy is that I know for some people, I'm sorry for pausing again, but for some people, they will say like, I've heard some, you know what, there's some, even I think the people who like vor are weird. And I'm pretty sure there are people that are like, oh, you like feet, that's weird. I'm like, it is definitely an acquired taste. But I'll be honest with you, it sure as hell not this. Literal spawn camping for these kids to turn 18.
For the second she became legal,
Yep.
to pay for this material. But again, collective shout, where are they? They're not here. And they're not talking about this stuff.
No.
Because they care more about fictional content. In fact, when I look at this Melinda person, I think it's very obvious.
It's because, again, they don't give a fuck about things like this, because it is revolution or evolution or whatever. What is it for women and things like that, because it's a positive cause and things like that. And I'm like, bro, these are kids literally selling their bodies at what is it, as soon as the clock strikes 12. I mean, like, as soon as it strikes midnight, it's just like, bro, you don't think that's a problem at all? Really? Okay.
They just hate video games. At their core, they just don't like gamers. And that's what's fueling all of this. I mean, look at this. This is a tweet from 2012. Video games emphasize sensory immediate worlds, not cognitive, thoughtful worlds. Lack of consequences. Is she just like calling out video games as something just inherently bad? Here's another one.
What do you mean? Like, is she saying that, like, what, there's no consequences in like video games and some shit? What are you talking about? Oh my god.
From 2012 as well. Children who love video games have brains like gamblers. Release chemical same as drug addiction. She's comparing gamers to gamblers.
No, we're not the same, okay? We're not the same at all. Here's the thing. The difference is that it is like, here's the thing. all of it connects to one thing, and it's called dopamine. And here's the thing: almost everything has this type of effect. You know, watching movies can have this effect. Watching TV can have this effect. How even reading books can have this effect, and such things like that. It's just and the thing about it is that the difference is that gambling, people are betting their money on things like this. Okay, people are betting their money. People spend hours doing this shit and such. And the difference is that for games is that for video games is that you get to, what is it? You get to learn. What is it? You get, what is it? You get to learn about certain subjects, or you could, what is it? You could have deep what is this? What is philosophical thoughts, or even have how even maybe even have psychological trauma about certain things, or those ones are fun, you know, or even like having a different perspective on certain things, or just various of things. Video games as a whole, it's a it's a whole medium that, depending on how that you want to see and take about things that go, what is it, that go on in the game, that's up to you to decide, what is it, how you want to enjoy this said game. Like, what is it, the way how like, one of the games I really like glazing a lot, which is The Last of Us, because I think that's a very, very good game, because it really expresses what would actually happen in what is it, in an apocalypse, and pretty accurately so. Like, everyone literally killing each other, what is it, setting traps, to take, to kill people, to take the loot off their bodies, and a bunch of other stuff. Reading like the various of notes of people's reactions to the start of the event of what is it, of evacuation, holding down the fort, killing themselves, what is it, evacuating with the what is it, with the army, and failed cities, a bunch of other stuff. It's like, I think it's pretty accurate the way how the people would react due to such an immediate downfall to society. So it's a very, very deep game when you actually read some of the lore, the documents that you find in the game. It's actually pretty interesting. And also, like, the characters, the way how they're built, the way how they're structured, the way how, what is it, how Joel is cold to, what is it, to Ellie, because of the things that happened way before, and a bunch of other shit, and the things going on with Ellie and all that stuff. It's like, there's a lot to learn about the things in this game. It's just a matter of how you take it and you perceive it. It's not the same, man. Come on now. It's saying that video games are just like gamblers. It's like, no, that is such a narrowistic thinking, and games are so much more deeper than you think. It is, video games are so deep, it might as well be as deep as a Marianas Trench. uh yeah, depend on the game. Gotcha games are gambling, absolutely. Gotcha games are gambling. And you know what, don't be surprised if these other companies are what is are going, and I mean other game companies, I mean like EA, Activision, Blizzard, and things like that, are going to be making their own gotcha games. Because I'm gonna tell you this much, I've been seeing gotcha games more and more frequently now. That's going to be the next craze for the next 2 to 3 years. Don't be surprised if you start seeing other AAA games start dabbling into the gotcha market. That's going to happen. And I fucking hate it.
This is insane. This is crazy. But you know what? Maybe there's some hope after all. So there's been a bill that's been out for a while, I believe in February when it was first introduced, that is going to try to prevent credit card companies, these payment processors, from blocking adult games on Steam. The
Good.
crux of what's going on here is very simple. It's protecting against banks being able to
Good.
say, hey, you can't
They shouldn't be applied only to Steam. They should be applied to everything else. As long it is not illegal content, then it should be able to be, what is it, to be processed for payment processors can't do anything about it.
purchase that lawful content because we don't want you to. We think there's something wrong with that lawful content. You're not allowed to have it. You know, anyone with a brain or any self-respect looks at stuff like this and says, ain't no way I'm letting Visa and MasterCard tell me what I can purchase, especially legal things. That's what we're talking about.
That's the thing, and I said this before. This starts with video games. How long is it gonna take for them to be like, hey, I don't like your political view. Was a block payment processing. Don't be surprised if it goes it goes that far, guys. Don't be surprised at all if it ever goes that far, because it will. It will. If we don't put what is it? If there isn't a stop to this, it will go that far.
Legally available things. Why do you, payment processor, get to tell me what to do? Process my payments and shut up. That's what's going on here, but there's so much going on. I mean, we're not even getting into the age verification stuff. That's becoming a mess. And now we have experts claiming age verification is going to be coming for everyone. And that's not too surprising. With everything going on in the UK and also now being introduced in the United States, there's a lot to be nervous about. This stuff is speeding up so fast. If this all feels coordinated to you, it's because it is. There's no way this stuff wasn't coordinated in some way. It seems very intentional. And, we think over the past couple of years we're making some sort of progress on freedom of speech, getting rid of wokeness and censorship. Never relax. Never take it easy. Because look how fast things have gone from the status quo to dystopian. This is a very grim scene. And we have to be on top of this. We have to talk about it. We have to spread the message about collective shout, about these bills, about the age verification nonsense. This is all about surveillance and controlling what you can and can't do as an adult trying to engage with legal content. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. It is, it's one of those things where it's like, it is what it is. But, of course, it's not surprising at all that these things, are happening as such, yeah, for sure. Cause it's like, oh, what's the way to put it? How convenient, right? You're telling me that suddenly, right? Suddenly that, they all just had the same idea and they all came out at 1 hour after from each other. Get the fuck out of here, man. Anyway. Oh my neck. Oh, here we go.
Hey, so just checking in.
All right, here we go. Humanity is cooked.
Hey, so just checking in, guys. Are you black-pilled enough today? Have you lost all faith in humanity? Well, in case you haven't, I'm going to make sure you do today, because this story is so depressing, so bleak, so sad, but it involves Lil Tay. Now, if you're like a YouTube veteran, you know who this person is. When she was very young, like 9 years old, she got a lot of attention on YouTube because she was flexing on people, showing off wads of cash like this that clearly was not hers. It was her parents' money, who were also very bad people for constantly like pushing her out onto the internet. That's a whole nother story. But basically, she was very young when she got a lot of exposure on social media. People would make like commentary videos about her, dunking on her, making fun of her family, what have you. But there was a very disturbing development that's taken place, really not just only over the past 24 hours, but for years now. You can see from her Twitter profile here, she is proudly exclaiming that
oh my god. Youngest girl on OnlyFans, freshly 18. Come see me, freshly 18. Oh my god. I'll be honest with you. I feel like I've seen some of these before where they're like, oh, I'm 19 years old, and then like sometimes I'll see like the profiles like later on, and like it'll be like a few years later, and it still says the same thing. It's like, bitch, you've been 19 years old for the past like 4 years. What are you talking about? You're 25. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that she has that as her profile picture. I mean, her bio.
She is the youngest girl on OnlyFans, freshly 18. This is a pattern that has been going on for many, many years. And I've been very vocal, and many others have been as well, about OnlyFans. It's not just that people like this are using the platform to make 18 plus content, it's the fact that this platform sells a very clear dream to specifically young girls. That the second you can legally do it, you can sell your body on OnlyFans and make a bunch of money, and you're going to be super happy and life's going to be great. Well, we know that only a tiny, minute fraction of these people actually make anything worth all of the
Oh
digital
yeah.
footprint you're going to produce.
The crazy thing is that when you see the people who say that they make a lot of money from this, it is literally the 0.1% of them actually making good money from this. Like, that's how scary low that is. I remember there was this one video. I think it was Asmongold that reacted to it. It was like some girl that was like, she made OnlyFans when she was like 19 or 20 or 18, something like that. I can't remember. And she mentioned that throughout, like, I think it was like a month or something like that, that the whole time that she was making OnlyFans, she only made like $135 for like a month or something like that. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't even know what you were doing. All I know is that you're on the side doing whatever, and you only made that much. Wow.
As a part of doing this sort of lifestyle, but we know that OnlyFans is exploiting these young girls, okay?
Yep.
And we have tons of stories and allegations that they've turned a blind eye to illegal content hosted on the platform,
Yep.
and the payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, who love to virtue signal about fictional content in video games, they've turned a blind eye and profited from these allegations.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're seeing here is something that is it's very
As I said earlier, as I said before, Steam is other and these other places are only making them $1 million, maybe like a few million, right? Depends how much of time, right, or whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's say that it makes them more than like $1 million like a week or something like that. OnlyFans probably makes more than like maybe like $1 billion or maybe a little less than that. And to me, you gotta think about it. Which one would you cut? The one that's making you maybe that's a little maybe that's over $1 million, or the other ones that's making you probably less $1 billion. Dude, come on.
disturbing on so many levels. Basically, Lil Tay turns 18, and the first action she does is selling her body on OnlyFans.
Yep.
I mean, there was literally like countdown timers. Now, I talked about this a little bit on the main channel video today, but I wanted to share more because this is really disturbing and sad for so many reasons. It's not all just about her, it's about the platform
The whole
we're
thing.
talking about, and it's about the people supporting this behavior and encouraging it. This wasn't something that happened overnight. And you can see her reposting tweets like this saying Lil Tay launched in OnlyFans on her 18th birthday and made over $1 million.
And dude, you want to know something crazy? You want to know something crazier? Is that she did a soft launch to promote her OnlyFans. And you may think, what do you mean by soft launch? she started promoting her thing when I think like a few months before she turned 18. So yeah, she was pretty much trying to gather a crowd before she turned 18 years old on OnlyFans. And I'm gonna tell you this much: she was gathering a crowd, which I'm like, that's fucking weird. Here's the thing, man. What is it? People, people may say liking lolly is one thing, but at the end of the day, that shit's fiction. That shit's a drawing. This is fucking. This is even more diabolical and more weird and more predatory because it's like, dude, she's just like, I'm just saying, jerking off to a girl, as soon as the clock, strike midnight, nigga, that's weird. I'm gonna tell you that much. That's weird.
In just 3 hours. OnlyFans must be banned. She reposted that. She also reposted this saying, am I the only one who finds this extremely weird? Where she's saying, freshly 18, don't tell my mom. It's so obvious she's playing into this angle, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad because nobody just turns 18 and decides to go this route. This idea has been planted in her head for years. This idea.
I wouldn't exactly say for years. I think it was probably planted as soon as that one girl turned 18. The Cash Me Outside girl. I think that's when it probably started, which was probably a year ago, maybe. I can't remember. Kaylin, if you're still there, can you look up when the Cash Me Outside girl turned 18? That's it. You don't have to go any deeper. Just see what year she turned 18. I think that's when it started, which was, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, probably. But yeah. I mean, he did say years, so more than one for sure.
Of doing this sort of route was planted in her mind when she was a child. And you know what? The thing is, you can't just sit here and talk about her. You got to talk about the people supporting this. Okay?
Yep. Dude,
over a
4 years ago? Oh, okay, never mind. So that was a while back then. Okay, never mind. So yeah, it definitely was years ago then. Okay. Rev is correct. You're telling me 4 years ago? Okay, Rev is correct.
$1 million in 3 hours. People were literally counting down the minutes until this girl turned legal.
Yep.
And they immediately wanted to get her adult content. I hope you understand, listening to this, how disturbing that is and why this is a problem. This isn't shaming people for adult content or anything like that. If you're a full-grown adult and you want to do that route, go for it. If you're someone who wants to support that or whatever, I don't care. That's your decision. But this dynamic is what's disturbing.
Yep. And yet I say again, these are the funny thing is that the funny thing is that they want to ban, they want to ban adult video games because it harms women. This, it's all right. It's what is it? It's a revolution for women. Okay.
I'm not trying to come off as holier than thou, but you have to see how this is disturbing. That she literally was primed for this. And the second she could legally do it, she was sharing it, and seemingly tens of thousands, if not more, immediately bought in. They were waiting for the moment she was legal. That is disturbing. And that shows...
You know what's even crazier, dude? I find this more disturbing than I literally find this. The crazy thing is that I see this shit more disturbing than Meat Canyon videos. Like I'm gonna be for real. Yeah, sometimes I see some of Meat Canyon things. I'm like, damn, this nigga's disturbing as fuck. This is worse. Because the thing about it is, like, Meat Canyon, this is all in this nigga's imagination, things like that, of like the sadistic things he could do, in anime and stuff. These are people waiting for a 17-year-old, you know, to as soon as as soon as the clock strikes midnight, they're like, as soon as they hit that 18 route, then they send, they sending these. Dude, she got $500,000 in fucking messages. The thing about it is, like, the subscriptions is one thing because it's just a click of a button, right? But the messages, you got to type out a whole thing and then send and then put money or whatever and then send a message. I think this is the extra effort than just clicking subscribe. Oh my god.
Everything wrong with OnlyFans. Those are the main concerns, that they're predatory and they're selling a dream to young girls that you should sell your body the second you turn 18.
Yeah.
And again, to really hammer this home, this idea doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's introduced to people like this at a young age when they were minors.
Yep.
When they're minors.
And you know what? You gotta ask that question. If she has content that's pre-recorded, when was that recorded? Because I'm gonna tell you this much. Something tells me. I mean, the true question is there hasn't really been an answer if there was anything put out there in terms of like videos or a video. I don't know, man. There's more, but you gotta bait the question: was there like a production? Was it edited or anything like that behind it? Because I don't know, man. I'm a firm believer that if that's the case, I'm gonna be a firm believer that this was recorded before she was 18 years old, which I say that's even weird, but I don't know. I mean, so far there hasn't really been anything said about any sort of any sort of they haven't really said anything about there being pictures or anything like that. But it says there's nothing on post no, nothing for posts or no, well, not really referrals, but like stream tips, or I think that's when she goes live for tips or something like that. So these are probably different, but I think posts. I think this right here. If this had like a number, I'm pretty sure that would mean that's videos or posts or with pictures or videos or whatever that you could put, because I remember what video was it? Was it from MXR? I think where they explored Belle Delphine's OnlyFans. God, how old is that video? That video is probably like 4 years old now. I believe 4 or 5.
And anyone thinking this is a something to celebrate, if you think this is empowering, screw you. This is not empowerment.
Yeah.
This is predatory and disturbing on so many levels.
Many.
And anyone cheering this on, oh man, I'm side-eyeing you forever.
Yep.
This is weird. This is very weird stuff. And of course, we're not even getting into like the hypocrisy where she reposted a tweet very recently, this year in fact, where she said, or the tweet she was reposting said, if you're a grown man, a girl turning 18 should not be attractive to you. And now, this is her whole brand that's making her millions. I'm not some like old boomer whining about adult content or something. This paradigm here is what disturbs me. The fact that she...
Oh yeah, there it is right there. I'm reading the tweet. It says Lil Tay retweeting this and then weeks later announcing and what is it, OnlyFans because she's freshly 18. Yeah, there you go. And this was probably a recent thing, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I remember I was hearing that supposedly that Lil Tay did like a soft launch when she was 17, which from what I can remember, it got suspended or banned or something like that. I believe so, but clearly she was a permanent ban from the site.
He was clearly influenced by adults to think this route was something she should have done the second she could. Like, I'm sorry, this whole thing is so disturbing to me. I might be going in circles. I'm sorry if I am. But this stuff really strikes a nerve with me, and it should strike a nerve with you as well. And you can see the consequences were instant. Okay? She tweeted this 40 minutes ago as of recording right now. So my brother is trying to kick me out of the house. I did nothing wrong. Like, this whole mess. And then you see people, like, there's plenty of replies, like, justifying this and, like, trying to, like, swoon over her. Like, dog, I'm losing my mind. Like, I can't believe we're at this point. And this whole thing is just a mess. It's a mess, and it's highlighting and spotlighting an issue that's been going on for years, and people just don't want to address it. And OnlyFans is going to continue to profit from this stuff, this sort of cycle and dream that they're selling, because there's too much money involved, and the payment processors are so happy to accept it, while they're also going after fictional content and banning video games, as we've seen with Collective Shout and all those situations.
That's what I keep saying, man. What is it? Hey, Steve's only making them, what is it? What is it, a few millions? OnlyFans making them billions. I'm just saying, man. I mean, which one? What is it? What is it? Which olive branch are they willing to cut? Come on now.
A mess. Humanity is cooked.
For real. Yep. You know what? And I hope there's a law where they says that you cannot upload adult content till you're 21, because this shit's getting fucking weird. I gotta hope so, man, because that's just crazy, man. It's just wow.